Hello everyone, here we are again, and today we're going to be talking about overthinking and what does it do to our brain, to our emotions, and to our mind. Since this is one of my favorite subjects because I was in a lot of overthinking, in my life, and of course that causes a lot of anxiety. This is definitely the subject that I know how important it is, and I hope with these little tips I can really help you to change the way that you think and change your thoughts the way I did. So if you're watching this live, you know the drill. Please comment below hashtag superhero live, and if you're watching a replay, comment below hashtag superhero replay. So what is an overthinking and why does it happen? Well, overthinking happens when we are thinking for too long and too much about the same thing. It exhausts our mind, it exhausts our body, our emotions, and when we are overthinking, we are really, really draining ourselves. There is nothing productive behind the overthinking process. Very often it is a byproduct of anxiety or depression, but on the other side, it can also lead to anxiety and depression because when you're thinking about a certain thing for too long, for too much, it definitely gives you some sort of, unpleasant feeling, anxiety. You start worrying about things, you are nervous all the time, and you feel the tense in your body. It definitely exhausts your emotional part. Because when you are not able to connect your mind with your heart, it means that when you're overthinking, you're only going through your head, from your head. And when there is no this coherence between your emotional side, emotions, your heart, and your brain, then you are completely out of balance. And what you hold in your mind as in a consistent basis, it definitely becomes, an experience. It's your pattern of thinking, it's your behavior, and it becomes part of your character. So after a long time of overthinking, you will start saying yourself, I'm anxious, I'm nervous. You start calling yourself names. You become that person who is always worried. And most of all, you rewire your brain on anxiety. You are activating your amygdala all the time, and your prefrontal cortex doesn't work. You cannot, you're not creating things. You're constantly on urge. You're constantly worried and you're constantly afraid, basically. So it is one pattern that definitely needs to be broken, and it's not so complicated to break it. The key is to identify what is causing the overthinking. What is it that you're overthinking about, and then take the action. So what are some things that you can do, and what are the questions to ask yourself? Well, first thing is ask yourself, why do I overthink? What is causing my overthinking? But with some sort of action, not to cause yourself even more problem, because if you realize, okay, I'm overthinking because I don't like my job or I'm not happy in my relationship, then it will just get worse. So it needs to have some focus on solution. When you ask yourself questions, and ask questions that have some sort of results, identify your pattern. What is the thing that you're overthinking about? Because when we overthink, we usually overthink because we are afraid or, not really, happy about something that might happen in the future. Very often it will never happen, but we overthink about it. Or we ruminate about our past. And we all know ruminating about our past, it wouldn't bring us any good. We can just be aware of our past mistakes or situations or, things that we went through and learn from it, but let it go. It's very important to be able to let go our past. And then manage your story. What do you think about? What is it that what's your story going on in your head? Because once you change your story, you will completely change your life. And so make sure that you change the story, change the thing you think about. Our thoughts are super powerful, and what we think about, we become. If we're thinking about problems, worrying, we're angry, we don't know what are we going to do next, we're stuck, then you're going to become that condition, and that becomes a pattern and behavior. Hi, Ivana. You overthink when you're afraid of bad scenario or a rejection. Yeah, that's definitely a big one. I think uncertainty is definitely one of the biggest causes of rejection, of anxiety and overthinking. And then definitely when you think about bad scenario, I know it's hard, but don't think about bad scenarios, because unfortunately when we are the energy, and when we start radiating this energy of fear of rejection or some horrible scenarios that will happen, most probably they will happen because we're kind of inviting this energy in our life, and what you attract you will get back. So try to change the way you think, and when you start thinking about some bad scenario, or based on previous rejections starting to feel rejected even before you are rejected, try to rewire your brain and think about, well, this time I will think differently. It's very sane decision. This time I'm not going to do the same. Even if I get rejected, it doesn't matter, but you don't draw yourself through this horrible process of self-suffering, knowing that you will be rejected or go through something bad, even if you don't know if that will happen. And then sometimes the question is, why do I attract people in my life who are rejecting me? Am I accepting myself, or am I rejecting myself? When we reject ourselves or don't like something about ourselves or are not self-loving, then very often we are rejecting ourselves, and we cannot accept someone else to accept us and expect a good outcome when we know that it's going to be a shitty one. So try to rewire your brain on that sense and change this. One of the things to do is to let go of past, definitely. When we're thinking about, ruminating our past, and we had bad experiences in the past and rejections, it doesn't have to happen again. If we do the same things, act same, think same, most probably we will get rejected again, because we are kind of inviting it. So try to change the pattern of your behavior in whatever the subject of anxiety and overthinking it is. Living in the moment, that's very important one. When you start feeling anxious or overthinking things, expecting the worst, ground yourself in the moment and say, okay, I'm here now, let me enjoy this moment. Control your mind and your thoughts and your emotions in the end, and show some gratitude to yourself. Like, I'm grateful for being here now. I'm grateful that I have opportunity to experience similar thing, but this time I'm going to act differently. I'm going to do something in a different way, because when we do things different way, there is no way that you will have a same outcome. Control your emotions. Why are you anxious? What brings you anxiety? Is it fears? Is it worry? And stop it before it starts. When you know your pattern, and you know that you might feel rejection, or you're not feeling good enough, or there's something bad will happen for sure, because it happened 100 times before, then just stop it. No, this time it will be different, and I will make it different, because we are the only people who create our own destiny. We are the one who are following our path, and if we do the same things all the time, repeating them, universe sends us 100 lessons all over again, because we didn't learn the lesson on some example. So make sure when you start going crazy in your head, just stop it. And emotionally, when you feel overwhelmed or anxious, just stop it. No, this time I choose different. Focus on solutions. Take in charge of your life. Rethink your decisions. Is this person that I'm going to be rejected from, or this job that I'm doing, is this a good thing for me? Is it something that is going to make me happy? Am I going to make the same mistakes? Because if you know in advance that you will, then just change your behavior and set the goals. When you have the goal and I want this kind of job, I want this kind of this type of relationship, I want to have this type of family relationships, I want to have this type of friendships or social events, set the goal. When you know what you want, then it's, your goal. It's much more difficult to, lose your focus and be all over. When you're all over, then there is so much place for overthinking. And then ask yourself the right questions, solution-oriented ones. What energy am I projecting to that makes me overwork? Or what energy am I projecting to other people that I get rejected or that I attract negative partners? And then when you dig deeper into yourself and know the answers, then it will be much easier for you to self-regulate and to know your pattern. I think the key in overthinking is to know your pattern. What are you overthinking about? And when you know that, then just step by step, ground yourself in the present moment, focus on solution, on your goals, know what you want, and then from there slowly go to the next thing. Thank you so much for listening today, and see you again tomorrow, and have a wonderful day. Thank you, Ivana, for your great and amazing comment. It gave me really like half of my video additional content, because really a rejection and bad scenario is definitely something that we all go through in our lives. So it's definitely a huge subject. So thank you once again. Bye.